listening to Polished Woman, only on LA Talk Radio.
Hey, Polished Women! You're listening to Polished Women and watching Polished Women, and I'm with Polished Parents, mom and daughter. The winner of Making a Model with Yolanda Hadid. Yay, Athena and Diana. I was with them for 2 months. Anyway, before that, over the last few years, models have become more visible than ever. They're not just a commercial or in magazines, in commercials or in magazines. They're also all over the television and social media as well. When you look at the success of reality shows like America's Next Top Model and Making a Model with Yolanda Hadid, it can be easy to think that all you need to get into modeling is a little luck or a little exposure, but it's still a business, and like any other industry, there are still certain steps that most people have to take if they want to build a career. For those of you who don't watch Lifetime, you may not know that I already know Athena and Diana, her mom. I met them with my daughter Breanna, who was also competing on the show. And like all the contestants, Athena worked really hard, and I'm so very happy to have her and her mom in our show today. Yay!
Thank
and
you.
Of course, we have Isabel and Andrea that needs help in the modeling industry. So Athena and Diana will help them since I can help you also because I was a model. I used to be a model, but even if it's not here, I still know a little bit. So what? Well, first of all, congratulations, you guys.
Thank you.
Oh, you guys
Thank you
deserve
so much.
it! Yay! Look at her; she's so cute. She's so pretty, and she's so nice. Okay, so what did you feel when you won? The show.
I was just shocked. I mean, it was all coming to an end.
Yeah.
And I was just like, whoa, what just happened? I didn't really process it through my head all the way.
Yeah.
Till the next day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just won the show. I was like, what just happened?
Did it change your life a little bit? Yeah, did it change your life big time, or oh no, is this really happening? We're doing this, we're doing that.
I feel inside, I'm still the same person, and
Of course you are.
being on winning the show, I feel was a great I'm proud of myself for it, but I think I'm more proud of doing the show and going through the competitions more than the end result.
Yeah.
So I feel being on the show was more of something that was changed me.
Yeah, it was so much work. But, it's something where you do that much work, and at the end, you're so proud of yourself for hanging in there and doing it to the best of your ability, that no matter what happens after that, you're just so grateful for the opportunity and that you did it.
Yeah, and didn't it make you, for me, it was the being with Breanna alone without anyone.
Yeah.
Did it make you guys
Yes,
close,
yes,
right?
yes,
Closer, and you're so intimate, and you're you're okay, what you ask advice, and you the same thing. You just help each other, right?
Yeah.
So at least you know that you're on the right track. How about the mom and a daughter like her? How can you start? How do you start the modeling industry? I mean, can you tell us about yourself?
Well,
You guys?
I'm currently in a school right now. It's called Barbizon, and they've taught me so much about walking, my poses, and how to stand. And I think at the end we graduate, and there's agencies coming. So hopefully, if they like me, I can get signed to one.
What do you call this?
Barbizon.
Uh-huh.
Barbizon. It's in LA. It's a modeling school.
Okay.
And they teach you how to walk, the runway, your posing, talking in front of people.
Did you learn from them?
Yeah, I'm
or-
still in it.
She's still in it.
But I'm
Okay.
gonna graduate soon, and agencies come, and then if they like me, hopefully I can get signed to one, and then from there I'll start.
You do know that if you watch Making a Model, you do know that you cannot really do a fashion modeling until the age of 18, right?
Right.
And then they start you with developing and stuff at age 16, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But what kind of modeling are you looking for? Is it more of commercials or print ads, or?
She's basically just starting right now. She's in classes. She hasn't done any work yet. She's
But I would like to do print ads.
Breanna.
Yeah,
So
I
okay,
like
now
to-
you're
That's like what I
yeah.
like to
So
do
now
too.
you're
Yeah.
doing that. What can you advise her, and then what can you advise the mom?
Right.
I mean, advice, on what to start, how to start this, and what to do.
Well,
Social media is a big plus,
yes,
right?
social media. I mean, that's how they found me for the shows on social
I
media.
know.
On Instagram, but how I started like modeling, just doing it, I was doing commercial and print for kids modeling.
Mhm.
This was when I was 12, and I went on Google. I Googled some agencies near me, and they had
Mhm.
like a little kind of like send in your photos. They look at them and see if they want to represent you or not.
Submission form.
Yes,
Submission
submission
form.
form.
That's what it's
Submission
called.
form. Yeah.
And so I submitted my photos, and I met them. We had a meeting, and then they started representing me. And then that's
Mhm.
when you kind of go on like castings for
Yes.
different companies that are for what you want to do.
For you want to do. Why do you want to be a model? I mean, what?
Well, I like how every time I model, I feel like it brings up my confidence, and like it's just a different side of me.
Yeah.
Like
I can
yeah,
relate to that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Is this the career that you really want?
yeah.
How
Yeah.
old are you right now?
I'm 15.
15. Oh, yeah, that's the time that you're like, okay, I want, like, this is the
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Because 13, it's hard, like, okay, I want really like this, but then again, when you reach the age of, when you start teen, the teen,
Yeah.
like, it changes. So
Yeah.
what can you advise the mom, and how can she help her daughter? Because she's really a good
So-
mom. I mean, she's like really,
I've seen that
like,
photo.
oh, like, okay.
So the perspective I take for all of this is this is a business, and I'm investing my time into her. Yes, she's my daughter, and I'm doing it because she's my daughter, but I have to realize the time, the money, the energy, everything that I'm doing for her comes from a business perspective.
Mm.
So, for example, when I took her in to meet the agency, I was not going to take her in until she was ready to speak to an adult, look them in the eye, say her name confidently.
Right.
All of those little nuances that make an agent really choose you over somebody else who might walk in the door. So, until she could do those things, it was kind of like, well, why are we talking about this? Because it's kind of a waste
Right.
to even
That's
try,
right.
And I was
That's right.
very shy too, and
Yeah.
when I've like learned the littlest bit of like just how to introduce myself and have a conversation with an adult, because really in the industry you're working with adults. Like you might have another model that's your age, but for the most part the people that you're working with are adults. So
Mhm.
like being able to be comfortable in front of them was a challenge in the beginning, but once I just started doing it, and you kind of get like under the pressure of, okay, you gotta just
step
out of your
outside
Yeah.
of yourself
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
a few moments in order to do whatever is required of
Yeah.
you. And that's something that most adults can't even do.
Right.
So it's wonderful to see her grow and be able to do that.
She grew a lot, I
Yeah.
swear, from, because her and Breanna were the youngest one in making a model, and they were like this. And now they're like, huh.
They came out of the shell. Yeah.
Yeah, and they can like talk to, like they can talk. Like they don't need us. They can literally, like, we learned that we're actually very fortunate for this show, for Yolanda Hadid and Lifetime and Hudson Media for giving us that opportunity, because it was really a big help. We didn't have to go. I mean, it's the same thing that you guys are doing,
Right.
but we were
It's a
trained
big
for
push.
like
Yeah. It's a big
for
help.
2 months in front of the TV, and it was hard, right?
Yeah.
And we stayed in one apartment. Well, what do you call that?
Brownstone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a house, and so it's literally like living in a model house. And that's how it is. Like, it's very, very hard. So I'm really like, I'm so proud of you.
Thank
Like, no, because you were there for 2 months, and I got so close to this, to these guys. And so what social media? I mean, can you advise her like how the social media is a big part of the
Yes.
whole modeling thing?
So, I mean, it's a huge part. I mean, that's, like I said, it's like how I got the show. One of the biggest things I feel like is how they found me is because
Mhm.
I posted a lot of content on my Instagram. I try to
Mhm.
post almost every day. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but I try to stay active.
Mm.
And I think how they found me actually was using hashtags.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
I used
All the
hashtags.
girls use the same
Yeah,
hashtag.
I did-
And that's how they
Yeah.
found us.
Yeah.
was-
Yeah.
And so using hashtags that are like relevant to their photos, I feel like helps a lot because it gets you more exposure. And then also I feel like, you know, clients, when they're wanting to like hire you for a job, sometimes they'll check over your Instagram, see like, how is she really like we know how she is for these like 2 minutes that we meet her, but what is she really like, what is she
I think
into?
that's the biggest thing for Instagram. Of course you can have that, like, we'll call it a 1 in a million chance of somebody seeing you and grabbing you for a big project, but more often than not, it's the client going to your Instagram and saying, okay, how does she really present herself? Is she age appropriate? Is she like somebody that looks friendly? Is she somebody who's on brand with our brand?
Right.
And so if you make yourself desirable in those ways, then brands are like, wow, we want to work with her. She's the one that would fill that gap for us.
Have you watched the show?
Yes.
How did
That's
you?
how we know you guys.
Oh, okay, they watched the show. So, do you think that that show helped you or was able to inspire you more to be a model, or do you think it helped you a lot?
Couldn't get her off the TV.
Really
Turn it off. We're coming
Did
down.
you hear that, Lifetime and Hudson Media?
Let's have her. She's like, no, I need to watch it. They're on, and we're gonna find out the winner.
We recorded it and everything.
Yeah. So you know that they need. Okay. So the secret actually to getting out there is a good headshots, right?
Yes.
So it has two different. If you go to an Actors Access casting network, they need a serious headshot. But if you go to LA casting, they need happy headshots. That is like crazy.
It's totally different.
Yeah, it's totally different. So you have to learn those,
Yeah.
you know, and I know that you guys just started, but I think the casting networks are like big. I mean, if you can't find any agent or manager that will help you, you can even audition. You just log on and sign up with casting networks, and you can get auditions from that. So be careful, because there are a lot of, you know, companies that are, you know, that are not real, you know, that they make. I was like a victim of that as well, and I think I was like a victim when we first moved here. I didn't know anything. I said, how do we start? And they made us go to this place in Beverly Hills in Wilshire, and they made us pay like a certain amount of money, and we're like, okay, why are we doing this? And I'm so glad I found, you know, people from the industry, and I said, no, you don't even have to do that.
Right.
You know, and I found out about this whole LA casting. I think you had the same.
Yeah, I had the same experience when I was younger. My mom, I wanted to model. My mom took me, I think I was 16, to a place similar to that where you go in, you meet with the people, and they say, oh, we want you, now pay us thousands of dollars, and we will teach you what you need to know in order to meet an agent and do such things. And it's, you know, it's really, unless you are like a shy person who needs to practice in order to get yourself to that point where you can make yourself vulnerable and put yourself out there, it's really just a waste, because they're not getting you anything you couldn't get for yourself. Because you could easily call up these agencies. You can research it online. You can figure out which one has working models just by looking at the pictures.
Yes,
the pictures will tell you a lot on their websites. And you can call them up and say, hey, we would like a meeting. I have a daughter or whatever, that's son that would love to do this. And so I think the misconceptions out there is that you can't do it yourself. And really, it's all about drive. How much are you willing to do for yourself?
Gosh, that's why I can't do it. Right?
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's something that if you do it yourself, you'll be way better off than somebody who pays somebody to do it, or just sits back and says, okay, it's going to come to me when the time is right. No, it won't.
No, I know.
You got to do it.
And especially, it's a lot of work for the moms, right?
Oh,
tons.
A lot of work. Yeah, even with the whole social media. Do you have, I want you to ask questions, you know, to both Diana and Athena, because I want everyone who's watching and listening, all the moms, I'm sure they're like, okay, I want to ask them questions. Next time, I mean, actually, you can call us or you can contact me from www.polishwoman.com if you want to ask more about the whole modeling thing. Do you want to ask them anything from you?
Well, I actually have one question for Athena. So, like, if you have any insecurities, how do you deal with them?
That's
actually a really good question. So Actually, when I was younger, I was insecure about my beauty mark right here because people would always make fun of it. But then, you know, like, I have amazing parents.
That's so nice.
And I went back home.
I like that.
And they told me, you know, they told me, like, they love my beauty mark. And then they started showing me pictures of other girls with beauty mark, like Cindy Crawford. And they were showing me, like, how what makes me unique is what's actually beautiful. And so I feel like just being able to talk to them and looking at other people who are so successful and so beautiful and just amazing people have the same, like, kind of, I mean, we're all insecure about something, but just seeing other people be able to rock like a beauty mark like I have, and I think that really helped me.
That's really a good question. And I think don't be, you know, don't develop that whole insecurity. It's just in your mind, you know. Be confident, love yourself. And every time, I always tell my friends this, whenever you go to a meeting or you go to, you know, go out of your house, look at the mirror 5 times from your mirror from your bathroom to downstairs. I know it's 5 times, but you can read my book. But 5 times up until you're in the car. Before you go down, look at the mirror and say, I'm beautiful. I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna get this project. You know, and you know, you'll feel it. The people around you will feel that you know, that you'll feel, oh my God, this girl. Just be confident. Don't think about that. I can't make it. I'll be insecure. And you always like sit down and like, you know, be confident and be proud of yourself. I always say this. I don't believe in the word ugly. There's no such word as you know, ugly for me. So I know you're such a beautiful, beautiful kid, and just be careful. And you know, only trust your mom because she's the only person that will really help you, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any question for
Yes.
Diana?
Basically, you know, it's a tough industry. We were just talking about it, and since she was a little girl, you could tell that at 3 years of age she was posing as a painter. So you could tell she wanted to do that, but it's been very I've been very hesitant to help her and to guide her into pushing that for her. You know, I've been brushing it off and just making her just focus on school. But how do you know that it was okay, or it was the time, or it was it's okay for her to do it?
For Athena and I think the biggest thing was the personality shift. So I could see in her, because she is naturally very shy, very, very shy. I could see her willingness to step out of herself to make things happen. She was, you know, she was able to go to the meeting with the agent, and she was not like, oh Mom, I don't know what I'm gonna do. No, she was just ready to stand up and have that confidence to walk in the door. So, you know, as a mom, you know your kids, and you see the adjustments, and you see when they're ready. So you just have to take it very slowly from then, and you know, have really good discernment.
Right.
And really, that's the best thing I could say for this whole industry. It doesn't matter if you're just starting or you've been in it for years. Your discernment of who wants what, why you're doing what, you know, how to move forward has to be really on the ball, and it'll make a world of difference.
Oh, that's nice. So I hope everyone who's watching and listening, I hope you guys, you know, learn something. And if you want to hear more, we're gonna invite them again, and maybe the whole cast will come. I'll make them come here, right? And so you've heard that, Hudson Media. Okay, so thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
I hope you learned.
Us.
We're gonna call you in like 3 months or so, and maybe I hope that, you know, you'll follow whatever we advise, and I hope you find the agency that you wanna work with. And good luck to you guys. I know that you're like so busy, so busy with auditions and stuff. They're doing so much, and but they came. So thank you so much. Be careful. There are a lot of legitimate opportunities available for models, but there are also a lot of scammers. Take the time to find out about reputable agencies, find out what industry standard prices are, and remember that Google is a great place to start if you need to search someone or something to find out if it's reputable. There are also casting networks that you can log in to if you do not have any agent or manager. There is LA Casting, Casting Frontier, Casting Network, Actors Access. These are all legit online casting networks that can help you find agent, managers, and can even get you auditions. So moms, tip of the day, moms, do not push your kids on the things you want them to do or things that you weren't able to do because you got pregnant or because you just can't do it. Because they may just be doing this for you and not really for themselves. Let them figure out what they really want and then be the parent that will assist, guide, and advise them. Their dream or goal is not yours, it's theirs. Be there for them and not letting them be you. Remember, polished women, love one another. Let's give love. The first person you see after, give love to the first person you see after this show. Bye. Hey, wait, look, they let go, girl, like a woman. I always forget.
Thank you for having us.
You're
Oh my
listening
God.
to Polished
That
Woman
was quick, right?
only on LA Talk Radio.